Working in a theme park, you get a lot of perks, but there's one for me that stands out as not just the best, but also the worst perk that you can get. Hey, forgive the commercial at the beginning, but when you watch the whole video, I think you'll understand why. Please don't forget to like and share the video. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback about what I'm talking about. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can know anytime I've got a new video. I also want to give a huge shout out not just to my viewers, but also to my patrons for their financial support. I couldn't do a lot of what I do without them. I want to give a special shout out to Craig Kalai, who increased his monthly pledge, as well as to Letty Urbanic, and I hope I said that right, for signing on as a brand new patron. If you want to know more about Patreon and how to support me, as well as my Facebook page, my Reddit page, my merchandise, the gear I use, and all that kind of stuff, check the description below. It's all there for you. And with all that out of the way, on to the video. When you work at a theme park, one of the wonderful things about it is you tend to get a whole lot of side benefits that aren't necessarily official benefits. So beyond the medical and dental and vacation and anything else they may or may not give you, there's a number of other side benefits, such as getting into the park anytime you want and discounts if you buy things at the park and various things like that. Maybe going to another place outside and getting in free or at a discount. One of the biggest and probably best known benefits is also one of the best, and it's at the same time, believe it or not, one of the worst. It's a benefit I absolutely loved, and then there were other times that I just hated that I had this thing. And that was free admissions. When you work at a park, every park out there pretty much gives you some sort of way to let family or friends come in to be able to play with you at the park. When I worked at Busch Gardens, we would get tickets on a regular basis that we could then use and hand either to family or friends or whoever we wanted to. Silver Dollar City gives all of its employees immediate family members season passes and then gives some extra tickets on the side. Walt Disney World, you get what's called a main gate, and it allows you to use that so many times per year and to get so many people in each time. Usually the same number of people you have in your immediate family. Plus, Disney also gives out a Christmas bonus, which gives you a couple more free admissions and then a couple extra tickets here and there. So every park out there gives you free admissions, which is awesome. When you want to take your family into the park, hey, pack up, you got your tickets, it's not going to cost you anything. If you got family or friends visiting, you have a way to let them get in, which is great. And it made for a lot of fun that way. I loved being able to use my free admissions to be able to help people. If I knew somebody that was coming in for the first time and had never been at a place, that was an immediate candidate for me to be able to use my tickets if I could and help them get in and enjoy it. I loved when we had people down in Florida visiting from out of state or out of country. Hey, you've never been to Disney? Come on, let me take you. And I got to bless several people that way. One of my favorite things I got to do every year was when I was actually helping out my wife's school. I would substitute teach and volunteer as well as working at Disney. Every year, their whole third grade would go to Epcot. Now, they actually had a couple of the third grade teachers who also worked at Disney on the side. We had a lot of Disney families because we were relatively close. And so by the time all of these people who worked there or had family members who worked there or other people pooled in, we actually got almost our whole entire third grade into Epcot absolutely free. Talk about an awesome field trip and not having to pay. Not just that, but because the school we were at actually wore uniforms, they all had shirts that had the school logo on it, I would grab my cameras and I would run around for the day and I would be their private photographer. And, give an extra benefit and take a whole bunch of pictures, and then I'd be able to make those pictures available on the web through a password secured place. And if the parents wanted pictures of their kids out at Epcot that day, well, hey, I had a whole bunch of free ones they could download. It made for a lot of fun. In fact, I can actually remember one time we were sitting at the American Pavilion waiting for the Voices of Liberty to sing. We had a whole bunch of kids that were there, and so I made sure I got a couple pictures of the kids, and then when the Voices of Liberty were done, we also posed the kids with the singers and got some nice pictures. Well, I can remember one of the ladies, some other lady that was just watching this, looked over and went, "Wow, that school must be rich.
They can afford their own private photographer.
We just laughed. Nope, I'm just volunteering. It made for a lot of fun and had a blast doing that. It was so much fun to be able to get people in and enjoy the day. But it definitely had an absolute drawback in that if people knew that you worked at Disney or Busch or Silver Dollar City or something like that, it was constant phone calls.
Hey, can you get me into Disney free?
Hey, I know you haven't talked to me in 10 years, but can you get me into Disney?
Hey, look, I know I've never talked to you before, but I saw your name through a couple message boards and I'm going down to Florida. Can you get me into Disney free? It began to get really annoying how many people that you haven't talked to or never met before, or family members who hadn't contacted you in a long time, all of a sudden, because you work at this park, expect you to get them in free. Not even just a, hey, can you, will you, if it's possible. It's, well, your family, you ought to be getting me in free. The problem there is it tended to be limited in how many times you could use it and for how many people. I can remember one person contacting me, and they had a group of 8 people that they wanted me to get into Disney free. Just walk them all in. Well, the problem was, first off, I only had a limited number of times I could use my pass each year. And then the pass I used to get people in, I could only get 3 guests in at a time. And so I kind of looked at them, and this is people I hadn't talked to in like 10 years. And so I was like, you know, I'm sorry. One, I can only get 3 people in. I can't get 8. And then I've only got a few left. I think at the time I had like 2 or 3 left, and I wanted to save them for Christmas. And they got ticked off at me.
What's wrong with you? You work there, you ought to be getting us in, because you...
And I'm like, you know what? That's certainly not going to encourage me to get you in. It was very annoying sometimes, because there was just a sense of entitlement that, you know, you've got to tie in. Even now, even though I don't work at the parks, I try very hard not to ask in a demanding way. I will occasionally, you know, if I've got a group of friends, like right now, we've got a family gathering going on, and we're thinking about going out to Silver Dollar City. And so I made kind of a little call out, yeah, hey, if anybody's got an extra ticket or 2, it would be awesome, but not expecting anybody to give it. But I certainly don't ever call up and,
Hey, you're no friend of mine. Give me a ticket.
that's just rude. In that regard, it was just a really frustrating, the worst thing ever, because everybody expected you to do it. But then when you could use it, it was also wonderful. Some of my favorite memories of being able to use this perk were actually when we had family come in from out of state. We've got family in Southern California who had never been to Disney, and then my mother and stepfather were living up in Missouri at the time, and they'd come down every couple years. And again, something like Disney World was way beyond the affordable budget on a normal basis. But because I had my pass, I was able to get them in. My mom and stepfather and my sister had actually been at the kids' very first visit to Disneyland way back in 2001. Being close family, it was wonderful when they visited to be able to take them into the parks, to let them experience Epcot and the Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and to visit all these places that otherwise we wouldn't be able to do, to be able to have the fun family time and basically pay for a couple snacks along the way and to get that incredible experience. It's something that I really treasure, is those times with family at the parks, because they're fleeting and you never know when they may be gone. I especially right now treasure the memories of my stepfather, because we just lost him. And to be able to look back at those pictures and those memories and say, hey, there's that time with him, there's that time with the family, and to be able to hold on to that. And in that regard, I am so incredibly grateful that we had the free passes from the parks to be able to get in while they were here. So that's a look at the best perk and the worst perk. And you can see why it kind of plays both ways. If you've got that privilege, use it wisely, use it for family. If you don't abuse people who do, and treasure your family. You never know when you might lose them. Thanks, and God bless. If you want to know whenever I have a new video out, well, hey, make sure you hit that button right there and subscribe. If you want to see another video right now, well, I've got a great one right here for you. And if you want to be like these wonderful people here and help support me financially on Patreon, well, check out that link right there and it'll take you to it. Thanks so much and God bless.